What's going on, you guys? It's Andrew back with another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Air Jordan 3 Reimagined. So let's get into it. So as the name suggests, Nike and Jordan Brand have decided to continue their theme of re-releasing original colorways with a reimagined vintage aesthetic, just like they did last year with the Lost and Found Jordan 1s. To start this review, we're going to go right into the box first. It is the classic Jordan 3 box with the elephant print on the bottom, the removable black lid, and the Jumpman logo over the top. It does have the Nike Air branding on the sides and a bit of some weathering look along the box edges. So similar to how they did the Lost and Found Jordan 1 box with that vintage aesthetic, it's looking pretty much the same way. Some people are not a fan of that aged look. They don't like the idea of a sneaker looking older than it actually is, but personally, I'm a big fan. And I'm glad I was able to get my pair at one of the first shock drops. This pair is set to release March 11th, and the retail price is $210. So you're kind of getting an early look. Getting right into the shoe itself, what you get with the Lost and Found. Getting right into the sneaker, what you get with the reimagined Jordan 1. What you get with the Jordan 3 Reimagined is that classic white cement colorway. So you've got that white leather upper with pebbled leather and some smooth leather along the mudguard. You've got hits of elephant print along the toe box and the heel, as well as Nike Air branding along the back tab. You get that classic Jumpman logo on the tongue, as well as the fire red, cement gray, and Summit white colors on the bottom. The shoe also has an off-white midsole as well as an off-white heel tab, so you get a little bit of that aged vintage aesthetic. But what's special about this shoe specifically is that it has a lot of cues that are very similar to how the original Jordan 3 was designed. You get a little bit of a rise in the heel, so the material goes up to a mid-height sneaker. You get that same tongue liner in red on the back that's not visible from the front because the leather kind of wraps back a little bit more than recent Jordan 3 releases, so it's a bit more in line with the original design. And one thing I really appreciate is how the toe kind of comes to a more pointed end than a rounded end, so it doesn't square off, it comes to more of a point. You get the same perforations in the leather along the heel and the eyelets and the tongue, so you get a little bit of breathability there, but you still get that same soft white liner. What's going to feel a little bit different than most Jordan 3s is the liner is a bit thinner than, some recent releases. I don't have any old Jordan 3s anymore to show you, so I don't have a good comparison there. But if you have a pair of Jordan 3s like the Mochas or anything that came out in the years prior, they have more padding in the heel than this pair will, so that's something to keep in mind. And of course, you got the same red eyelets, black eyelets, and white laces all throughout the tongue. One thing I want to point out is the eyelets along the side do have a little bit of an aged look to them as well. I think this pair is fantastic. I really love the white cement 3s. I've actually never owned a pair of white cement 3s up until this point, so I was really happy to get my hands on this pair. Now, the only problem I really have with this shoe, aside from the fact that some people might be over that vintage aesthetic, like I said, I'm really not over it. I really like it. The only problem I have with this shoe is the retail price of $210. I do expect these to sell out. I do expect these to be very popular, much like the Lost and Found Jordan 1s. So if you can get them for retail, I highly recommend doing that. I mean, personally, I don't know what they're going to go for in the resale market, but I'm not really looking forward to seeing those prices, and I'm very glad to get my pair for retail. I do wish that $210 got you a little bit more than just a special box and a pair of sneakers. There's no extra goodies except for the retro card in the shoe box itself, so there's not really much else to it other than Jordan 3 with a little bit more of an OG design. This is something I'm glad that Jordan Brand is doing more of because I really appreciate the fact that they're sticking to their roots and going back to how the shoe was originally designed. And of course, I got nothing to complain about with this colorway. And that's going to wrap up this video on the Jordan 3 Reimagined. Let me know in the comments if you guys are interested in this pair, if you're going to be going after it on March 11th, or if there's another shock drop anytime soon. I do feel like Jordan Brand is going to be releasing a lot of pairs of these, so I think everyone should have a good chance at picking them up for retail. I hope you guys do. And that's where I'm going to wrap up this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, comment down below. Let me know what you think. And of course, subscribe for more content. I'm also on Instagram at Drew Reviews if you guys want to give me a follow there. But until next time, guys, this is going to be Andrew signing off. Peace.